she was like, why aren't we friends? I noticed, you disfriended me. But it wasn't like, she wasn't accusing me. She was saying like, oh, what's that all about? And I was like, well, I don't want to be preaching to my friends because I use it mostly for political activism and feminism now. And she said, okay, well, so what's a feminist, And I said, she was saying like, what do you mean by feminist? And I said, well, it's just someone who basically believes in equality between men and women, She said like, oh, well, I believe in equality for men and women. Oh yeah, she said, well, I believe in equality for men and women, but I feel like I can do whatever I want. I don't feel oppressed. And then I was like, that's it. I was like, well, yeah, that's the thing. You see, like, you may not be oppressed, right, but there's like millions of other women who are, And so you reminded me of that when you said, you don't really feel the racism thing, except for the, like, you're never the default.
Right, yeah.
But it's like, yeah. So, I mean, but there's, like, I remember a friend of mine who was black, like, years ago, telling me, every time I go into stores, they, like, look at me like I'm going to steal something. And I remember thinking, oh, come on, that can't, because it seemed so shocking to me. I was like, and then he was like, no, I'm fucking serious. And I was like, oh, well, I guess I have to, like, rethink this,
Oh, I used to have fun with that. I found years ago I had a pair of glasses. They were sunglasses, but there was no tint to them. They looked like normal glasses.
All right.
And I would do this experiment because I noticed like certain people in stores would be more uncomfortable with me than other people. So when I put the glasses on, it like someone else, they would be 100% comfortable with them. They're 0% comfortable with me, but with the glasses now they're 25% comfortable with me.
Weird.
Yeah.
Did the glasses represent some kind of like?
No, I think it's just a security thing. I think people see people with glasses as nicer and less threatening. And,
okay, right. That's what I mean.
Yes. Oh, he's got glasses on. He's an upstanding
young boy.
Oh yeah, and there was a Mexican supermarket I used to go into also, and there it wasn't about race. It was just about the whole like goth thing.
Okay.
But I would walk in, everyone's Catholic, and it was like Moses parting the sea. You'd see all the old women go to the side.
Like you're Satan's spawn or something.
Yeah, it's just completely stupid.
Yeah, so...
And the other thing is, when you
I'm
like...
not surprised now.
No, when you typecast people like this, you put yourself in a worse situation because you're not looking out for like the real threats or dangers.
And it's also... It makes people feel like fucking angry, It's like, oh, you think I'm gonna be like some kind of bad person? Well, you know what? Maybe I will, Like, I'm not saying you or like that particular scenario, but like I remember in my own experience, like being very unpopular in high school, and I remember thinking like, fuck all you people, You think? I mean, I had friends, but like, I remember it was like reinforcing. It like made it true in a way. Because like I hated them then,
Okay.
Not for that scenario, but for mine.
I was the opposite. In high school, I was
really
only
popular?
but I was really popular because of all the fights. I was always fighting. I was always suspended. I was always in trouble.
You were like the rebel.
But the thing was, I was nice to the teachers. I mean, my grades were horrible, but I never did anything bad to the teachers or said anything bad. But that was the weird thing.
I can see how you would be like very popular.
Barack Obama's the president, kind of nice caramel peanut butter complexion. There's a lot of people coming in.
Not too light, not too dark.
Yeah, there's a lot of people coming in from Mexico. Everyone's gonna mix, and everyone's gonna kind of be like an Obama brown. So I think, just a weird thought I have, after we're all the same skin color, people are gonna be like, how can we discriminate against people next? And they're gonna say, oh well, she's a Sagittarius.
Male and female go into one, like.
Right.
But don't let me forget. So basically, I wanted to finish telling you about this other thing though, because you reminded me of it when you said that you're not the default. So like, when the woman said, you don't notice it because you're blind to your own privilege. That was the wider conversation was this seminar where this feminist guy, I forget his name, basically, I think it was Robert Johnson. Yeah.
But when I am the default in anything, which is never.
Hardly ever, right?
But
never,
when I am the default, it's only because other people like me have created a world where for themselves where they will be the default.
Okay.
You know, and anytime I'm the default outside of that world, it's odd. Like if I'm walking down the street.
But I mean, that's not okay.
Yeah, no, it's not.
I mean, like, I'm not comfortable.
But like if I'm walking down the street and I see a fictional character like I don't know, Superman or Santa Claus or Jesus, and he's black, I'm like, wait a minute, that's not how it's supposed to be.
So you're like, I've inculcated into the same lens.
Right.
Actually, like abusers do this. This is an abusive thing. Like, so if like a woman with an abusive husband or something, like what the abuser will do is like obliterate the lens of the abused, so they'll like make the whole world be their lens. So that's why so many women don't leave their abusers, or they like stand up for them. They say like, oh no, I just fell down the stairs or something, because they're seeing through the abusers, and that's what our system of political hierarchy does. I mean, basically it's like, women, anyone who's not a white male, basically, relatively wealthy white male.
It's odd, like when you look at, how you said there's that hierarchy, and if you're the white, rich male, to me, even the white males are now excluding themselves from other white males because they're adding more things. Before you could just be a white male, now it's you gotta be white, you gotta be rich, and they're even excluding like the young ones. So now you gotta be old, white, rich, and male.
Huh, that's interesting. Yeah, that's probably true, ageism too,
Yeah, it's all getting in there.
He was, Robert Johnson is his name. He's like this huge feminist guy. He was giving a talk on feminism to this class, and actually he was one of the speakers, but the main speaker was a woman, and when he walked in the room, he said he overheard some of the male students saying, when they saw him, they said, oh, okay, good, we have an objective point of view. Like the males is the objective point of view.
Right.
Like the woman, it's not a person giving a speech, it's a woman,
Yeah.
And then he said, that's what got him thinking about all this, and then he said, when he asked the people, he said, like, when you look in the mirror, what do you see? And the woman said, like, I see a woman, or I think she said, like, I see a black woman, because she was black, she happened to be black. And he said, that's really funny, because when I look in the mirror, I just see a human being.
Right.
That's because it's the default, right?
Yeah.
He has the default. He's considered objective. He's the human being,
Yeah.
Everyone else is like woman, black, young, whatever, poor, whatever, or gay or whatever,
talking about that, even when you play any video game where you have to create a person, whether it's The Sims or whatever, it always starts by default with a white male, and then you've got to mod him if you want him to be female, if you want him to be Asian,
Never mind, crippled or handicapped, right? That doesn't even exist.
Yeah, why?
You don't get that option,
No, you really don't.
If you want to, have a limp, just forget it,
Right,
or anything.
If you're, if you're a little person, you're not going to be in the game. It's
if you're fat.
Yeah, that's true.
There's no fat people.
Yeah, they finally got around to putting those fat body types in the game, but never the default, which is odd, because you would think there's a disconnect, because you would say, well, in the United States you could understand why white would be the default, but why would white fit be the default in the United States and not white fat? Because it should be fat, should be the default.
And it probably is, actually. I mean, in reality.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It should
Aside
be true to life in the game as well. You know what you should do? We should get some of your stickers.
Okay.
And we should put them over here. Just other stuff that people could look at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a good one.
Or, well, let's see.
Can you see it? Or?
Who knows?
We'll find out.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like,
Yeah. We're trying all kinds of odd things on this show now.
the thing is, like, on Facebook, I'm a male. You know, I mean, because, and actually, I thought about, like, if I ever wrote a book or something,
Right.
I would not use a female name. And the reason is because I want to be seen as objectively as possible, not
Right.
like as, you know, I wouldn't want to be seen as a woman writer, you know.
Yeah.
I would just want to be seen as a writer, you know. And it's that kind of stuff.
Right.
So that's the kind of stuff that, like, advertisements and, like, the Barbies and stuff, that's just, it's like these attitudes of prejudice are reinforced and promulgated by these basically propagandic imagery, you know.
Yeah.
I guess that's the whole fight, you know. Try to make people aware. And that's the thing, it's like, it's not like people are evil, you know. They're just blind, basically,
Okay, but
to their own privilege.
yeah.
You know?
I'm wondering though, because you have Barbie and she's, you know, just, you know, gorgeous and tall and busty and perfect hip to waist ratio. Even though I think her, because
I think she'd fall over, actually, if she was.
Yeah.
I think they had a scientist, like, they said, like, she actually couldn't stand up in real life. Like, I think they've actually, in the past year or so, they made her waist a little wider, and they may have even made her bust smaller. I'm not sure, but it's still ridiculous now.
Well, I'm just offended that there's never been a goth Barbie. Because you could have a goth Barbie and it would make sense. You'd say, okay, well, her waist is like that because she does corseting, and her feet are like that because she does foot binding.
Yeah, do they do that really? Foot binding and goth?
I don't think it's big in the goth community, but
I think that's pretty fucking hardcore.
If you want to talk about odd body modifications, I've known women that have cut off their pinky toes to wear pointier shoes.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's a difference between body modification that's not trying to adhere to, like, the norm, and, like, body modifications that are, you know, because I feel like one of them is, like, people are doing it because they feel really pressured to do it, you know, and the other one, I feel like people are just doing it because they kind of, it's more of a choice.
So we're just gonna
We said all the good stuff.
sign off. Yeah, we said all the good stuff, and there probably was some kind of edit in here, but it was like a 10-second edit, and that's just
Yeah.
because we went over. So yeah, later.
You